Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really embarking on a fascinating exploration. It's about something that, well, touches every part of our lives, this continuous journey of education and lifelong learning.
hmm
And think of this not just as, degrees and diplomas maybe gathering dust somewhere.
Aye.
It's more like an ongoing expansion of your understanding, a kind of constant state of discovery that shapes who you are, really regardless of your background or, where you are right now.
Exactly. And I think our goal in this deep dive is to really try and unpack what it means to be a lifelong learner. And maybe more importantly, why this is just so incredibly relevant right now.
Yeah.
We're drawing from some really insightful perspectives on education. And, for you listening, just by tuning in, you're already kind of demonstrating that spirit of inquiry.
Okay, so let's really get down to it then. When we talk about education in this broader sense, what are we actually talking about?
Good question.
For me, I think it's about gaining a deeper awareness, not just about the world around us, but crucially about ourselves too. It's that whole process of acquiring knowledge, developing skills, building understanding that ultimately empowers us, doesn't it, to live more fulfilling lives and, contribute meaningfully.
Absolutely.
It's definitely not just that finish line you cross when formal schooling ends.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that, that naturally leads us right into this idea of lifelong learning.
Right.
It's that persistent engagement with learning. It's fueled by, an open mind, I think, a natural curiosity, and just a genuine desire for personal evolution throughout our entire lives.
Yeah.
It's less about achieving some fixed point and much more about just embracing the ongoing adventure.
There's a quote that I think really nails this. It's from Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh, yeah.
Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever.
Powerful.
It really is. It's such a strong reminder of the urgency of living fully now, but also the enduring importance of always seeking to learn more.
And what's particularly striking about that quote, I think, is how profoundly relevant it feels today.
Yeah,
Right now.
totally.
I mean, just think about the sheer speed, the velocity of technological change,
Oh, yeah.
the constant creation of entirely new industries, and these ever-evolving demands for different skill sets.
It's relentless.
It really is. Without that commitment to continuous learning, we genuinely risk being left behind. The world's changing at such an unprecedented pace.
So let's maybe dive into the different ways, the avenues through which we learn. We're all familiar with formal education, right? Your schools, colleges, universities.
Sure. The traditional path.
But there is this whole other incredibly significant area, informal education. What exactly does that encompass?
Yeah. Informal education is basically all the learning that happens outside of those, structured academic settings.
Okay.
So consider the wealth of knowledge and skills you might pick up at home, or in your workplace, or through travel experiences, even through your hobbies. It's often less structured, sure, but its impact can be, absolutely profound.
I think the sheer power of that informal learning is so often overlooked. Take volunteering, for example. You're gaining firsthand insights into your community. You're developing empathy, maybe acquiring really practical skills along the way.
Totally. Or travel.
Or travel, yeah. Immersing yourself in a new culture that can teach you lessons that, honestly, no textbook ever could.
So true.
Yeah.
And even our hobbies, right? Whether it's painting or playing music or writing. These are incredible pathways for learning and, personal expression.
Absolutely.
And what's been a really transformative development, especially in recent years, is the rise of online learning.
Oh, definitely.
Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, even YouTube. They've really democratized access to educational resources on a massive scale.
It's truly game-changing, isn't it? Suddenly, specialized knowledge and really valuable skills are within reach for, almost anyone with an internet connection. And this has huge potential, particularly for individuals maybe in remote areas or, developing nations who might not have the same access to traditional schools or universities.
When we connect this to the bigger picture, right? This accessibility through online learning, it's a significant force for empowerment.
How so?
Well, by acquiring valuable skills, people can unlock opportunities for better employment, they can make more informed decisions in their own lives, and ultimately improve their overall well-being. It's huge.
Okay, now let's maybe pivot a bit and talk about something really crucial. Our mindset. Our mindset when it comes to learning.
Very important.
I think there's a common misconception maybe that if someone didn't thrive in traditional schooling, they're somehow just, not a good learner. That just doesn't sit right with me.
Absolutely not. I completely agree. Traditional education systems, they often have a very specific way of teaching and evaluating learning.
Right. One size fits all sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily align with how everyone learns best. The reality is individuals have really diverse learning styles. Some are visual, others auditory, some are kinesthetic, learning best by doing.
Yeah.
And lifelong learning provides that opportunity for each person to discover and then leverage the learning approaches that truly resonate with them, the ones that work for them.
And there's such a fantastic positive feedback loop that comes with this, isn't there?
Tell me more.
That incredible feeling of accomplishment, you know? And that growing confidence that you get from mastering something new, no matter how small it might seem.
Yeah, that I did it feeling.
Exactly. It's like unlocking a new capacity within yourself. It feels great.
Precisely. And that growing sense of competence and curiosity can be incredibly self-reinforcing. It fuels a desire for further learning and continued personal development.
Actually, on a personal note, I've recently started trying to learn a new language using an app on my phone.
Oh, cool. Which one? Or how's it going?
It's been, well, engaging and sometimes hilariously challenging, just wrestling with new vocabulary and trying to wrap my tongue around the pronunciation.
I bet. Language is tough.
It is, but it's like this constant small-scale learning adventure right there on my phone.
That's a perfect illustration, though, of how we can embrace lifelong learning just for personal enrichment, for enjoyment.
Right.
Similarly, I've recently taken up photography as a hobby.
Oh, nice.
And what began as simply, pointing and shooting has kind of evolved into this fascinating journey of understanding things like lighting principles and compositional techniques.
Getting technical.
A little. But it's learning driven purely by the joy of exploration and creation, not for any external goal, really.
So, okay, we know that lifelong learning is incredibly valuable. It can be deeply rewarding. But what are some of the common hurdles, the things that prevent people from fully embracing it?
Yeah, there are definitely barriers. Fear is a really significant one for many people.
Fear of what?
Fear of failure, the worry of being judged, or maybe simply the anxiety of stepping outside their established comfort zone to try something unfamiliar.
Yeah, that makes sense. It can feel risky.
It can. And then there's the perennial lack of time argument.
Ah, yes, the busy trap.
We all lead incredibly busy lives, that's true. But I think often it boils down to a question of priorities, doesn't it?
I think so.
Even carving out small, consistent blocks of time for learning, maybe just 10 minutes a day, that can yield really significant results over time.
It adds up.
It really does. And while, financial limitations can certainly be a genuine obstacle for some,
Sure.
it's worth emphasizing the vast wealth of free learning resources that are readily available online today. So much stuff is free.
That's a great point. So for anyone listening who might feel a bit stuck or maybe just unsure where to even begin, what practical advice can we offer? What's a good first step?
Often, I find the most effective approach is simply to start small. Really small. Identify something that genuinely sparks your curiosity. It could be an article you happen to read, maybe a documentary that catches your attention, or perhaps a free online course that just piques your interest.
And just follow that thread.
Exactly. Take that initial manageable step. Don't try to boil the ocean on day one.
And it's so important to remember that it's perfectly okay not to be an expert right away.
Well, absolutely critical.
Learning is fundamentally a process that involves making mistakes. It has to.
Yes.
The crucial thing is just to keep engaging, keep trying, and not let the fear of imperfection prevent you from even starting.
This ties in so directly with the power of developing what's called a growth mindset.
Ah, Carol Dweck.
Exactly. Dr. Carol Dweck's work has really illuminated the profound difference between a growth mindset, which is basically the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work.
You can get better.
Right. Versus a fixed mindset, which is the belief that your qualities are largely set in stone. You've either got it or you don't.
That's such a critical distinction, isn't it?
Huge.
Because with a growth mindset, challenges are viewed more as like valuable opportunities for learning and personal expansion.
Learning opportunities.
Whereas with a fixed mindset, they can feel like threats, like something that might expose your perceived limitations. It's scary.
So how can we actively cultivate a growth mindset? How do you actually do that?
Good question.
Well, it begins, I think, with embracing mistakes. Not seeing them as failures, but as essential learning experiences, data points almost.
Yeah, information.
Celebrating the process of growth, not just focusing solely on the end outcome. and generally fostering an attitude of curiosity and open-mindedness.
And I think the environment we put ourselves in, the people we surround ourselves with, that plays a significant role too.
Definitely.
Connecting with individuals who are also curious and, committed to growth themselves can be incredibly motivating. And participating in learning communities, whether it's something simple like a book club or maybe an online forum, that can provide valuable support and, importantly, diverse perspectives.
Absolutely. Learning doesn't have to be this isolated solo endeavor.
Right.
Collaborating with others, sharing ideas, bouncing things off people. They can really deepen your understanding and honestly just make the entire process more enjoyable.
We've talked quite a bit about academic learning, skill-based learning, but it's so important to also recognize the significance of education that extends beyond those traditional boundaries.
Life skills.
Yeah. What other essential life skills should we be continuously developing?
Oh, there are so many. Skills like emotional intelligence, for instance.
Okay, define that quickly.
That's the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and also to recognize and empathize with the emotions of others. Absolutely vital.
Crucial, yeah.
Then there's critical thinking, the capacity to analyze information objectively, make reasoned judgments, increasingly crucial in our, information overloaded world.
Definitely need that filter.
And we shouldn't forget creativity and effective communication. These are fundamental in, virtually every aspect of our lives, personal and professional.
It's fascinating because these are often the very skills that aren't the primary focus of traditional schooling.
Often not, no.
Which really just underscores the ongoing need for lifelong learning in these incredibly important areas. You have to seek it out.
So, okay, for our listeners who are feeling inspired now, hopefully, to really embrace lifelong learning, what are some concrete, actionable steps they can take right now, like today, to get started?
Well, one really practical tip is to set small, specific, and achievable learning goals.
SMART goals, basically.
Exactly. Instead of a vague aspiration like, I want to learn more, try something super concrete like, I will read one article related to topic X this week, or maybe I will learn 5 new words in Spanish. Keep it small.
That feels doable. Another highly effective strategy is to intentionally integrate learning into your existing daily routine. Find those pockets of time.
Like when?
Listen to informative podcasts like this one, or audiobooks during your commute, maybe while you're exercising, or even just while you're doing chores around the house. Use that dead time.
Yeah, stack it onto something you already do.
Yeah.
And experiment. Experiment with different learning formats to discover what truly resonates with you.
Good point.
If traditional reading feels like a chore, maybe explore watching documentaries or engaging with interactive learning apps or listening to online lectures. Find your style.
And don't underestimate the power of reflection. It sounds simple, but taking just a few moments to maybe jot down what you've learned or even just discussing it with someone else, that can really solidify your understanding and help you retain the information much better. Make it stick.
And perhaps most importantly, be patient and compassionate with yourself.
Yes. Kindness matters.
Learning is a gradual journey. It has its inevitable ups and downs.
Yes.
Focus on the progress you're making, no matter how incremental, how small it might seem at the time.
And remember, everyone begins as a novice. Everyone starts at 0.
So true.
Avoid that trap of comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. It's just not helpful.
Exactly. And whether you're just starting out in life or, you have a wealth of experience behind you, it's truly never too early and definitely never too late to begin or continue your journey of learning.
So to kind of bring our discussion full circle here, the core message we really want to leave you with is that education in its broadest, most continuous sense is absolutely foundational.
Foundational to what?
To living a richer, more fulfilling, and more meaningful life. It really is. It opens doors to new opportunities, it builds self-assurance, and it deepens your understanding of both yourself and the world around you.
Yeah.
The enduring importance of continuous learning, especially in our constantly evolving world, it simply cannot be overstated.
And to you, our listener, thank you so much for dedicating your time to this deep dive today. Seriously, by engaging with this conversation, you've already taken a significant step on your own path of lifelong learning. And that's truly commendable.
So here's maybe a final thought to ponder as we wrap up. What is one specific area of curiosity, just one thing, that has been sparked within you during our conversation today?
Just one thing.
Just one. Commit, maybe, to taking just one small action in the coming days to explore that further. Perhaps it's finding one relevant article, or watching a short video, or even just searching for a free online resource related to that topic.
Take that first small step.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the vital topic of education and lifelong learning. Until our next exploration, keep that curiosity burning bright and keep learning.